expected. Okay, so earlier we touched a little bit on various aspects of manifesting. And I wanted to go back to a couple of things. I mentioned Neville Goddard, and that is where I learned the law of assumption is about what you assume to be true is true. And that is connected also to not just being on purpose about the assumption, but the things that are like hidden around in your mind, like I talked about earlier, the thoughts and feelings that you've had time, that is also part of the law of assumption, guys. It's not just what you're saying now, but what you're saying now will, if you allow it to, override what you already have inside. This is why this urge to purge is not necessarily needed, because what becomes habit, I love this hand thing, what becomes habit is also what becomes true. So, what we're doing when we're affirming is making new habits, and that is how our reality tends to change. Because what you're going to do is you're going to act on those new urges and stop acting on the old urges. Okay? It can take as long as it takes for you to feel the naturalness of the new habit. Okay, so we finally got that out. Okay. So, for instance, if there's something that you normally do and you're just tired of it, you would create a new assumption that is something that you want to do. And I personally learned this as I've been sharing and meeting people and talking to them about it. The more that you bring into focus this new habit, the easier it's going to be to move forward. I'm trying to think of something. Um, it can be anything, really. If you're used to going to the dealership and buying a used car, I mean, it can literally be anything. Okay. But you decide to yourself that you want to only buy new cars. And this may seem kind of weird or off, but I mean, I just want to show you how it can be literally anything. So you would write your assumption: I only buy new cars. And you may think immediately 100 different things like, can I afford a new car? Where should I go? Should I research? You may think all these things because likely this is what you would do. But understand, which we haven't talked about at all, the manifesting on purpose, just like manifesting not on purpose, is not logical. It is just how the realm works. Okay? So there's really no need to do all of this research, guys. You can if you want. However, I feel that the research will limit you. Okay? And I believe in no limits. Okay? And so, what you would do, I suggest, is create the assumption: I only, no, this is the thing, be specific. Do you only drive the new cars? Which would be a different than I only buy new cars. All right, see the difference? You can buy a new car or you can drive a new car. So, driving a new car could mean you drive new cars for other people, right? Buying new cars would probably indicate you're buying it for yourself or for someone else still. So I'm just saying that words make a difference. I've seen a lot of examples of this, okay? So make it specific. I'm trying to think of a specific way you would say it. I only buy new cars for myself. But then that would negate buying cars for other people. So let's see. What kind of car do we want? I only buy Mercedes Benz for myself. And I'm saying this because it does matter. You can try the other way, but if you find yourself working at a dealership, you'll remember what I said. Not the same thing. So I only drive 2019 Mercedes myself. I know it sounds awkward. I only drive 2019 Mercedes because I think they're best. I only drive 2019. I only drive a 2019 Mercedes. I always drive a 2019 Mercedes. I always drive a 2019 Mercedes Benz. I always drive a 2019 Mercedes Benz. So yeah, this came to my mind. So I have to straighten it up a little bit. But I do tell you this for a reason. Details are very important. And some people would say, oh no, you're going to be more relaxed because that's not how life works. But actually, if you look in your life right now, you'll see how much that's work. I mean, the smallest detail, people, the smallest detail is important if you want it to be important. I mean, hey, if you just want a new car, then don't say you want a specific car. Anyway, that's very important. Very, very, very important. And you can play around with it. You can learn over time. It's just like saying, oh, you know what? I'd love to have a dessert. And then someone brings home an ice cream, for instance, and you're like, oh God, that's dessert. But it's not the kind I usually eat, right? See what I'm saying? That's why you have to be specific. If you want vanilla ice cream, then you say, oh my God, the vanilla ice cream was amazing today. As you might say, I'm enjoying, here we go, this is it. I'm enjoying riding in my new 2019 Mercedes. New to you. I'm enjoy riding in my 2019 Mercedes. There you go. I knew something was wrong with the way I was saying it. Yeah. So you go ahead and get into it. Go ahead and get into it. Leave out this other stuff about where and when and how because you limit yourself to those specifics. Okay? So, yeah, I'm enjoying driving in my 2019 Mercedes, would be the one for you. You choose the car. Okay? So, yeah, it's very important to pick that out. And so, of course, the reason I'm leaving out the details is because we leave it open for it to happen. And then you would persist in it. You don't want to take a 2019 Range Rover if you want a Mercedes, right? So if the opportunity comes up for something else that's, oh, it's 2019, I should take this. But in the back of your mind, you're like, I really wanted a Mercedes. Don't take it. Persist in what you wanted, okay? Because sometimes consciousness just needs you to persist, to be aware of whatever it is. If you have a choice of 3 different 2019 cars and none of them are Mercedes, then say, no, thank you. I drive a Mercedes, right? That's it. That's how you work with consciousness. And that's really all there is. You can watch a million videos. And if they don't tell you this, then it's going to, you'll eventually find out. I mean, I don't think it's not a matter of who's telling you. You know this at this level of consciousness. You could ask yourself, how do I get a Mercedes? And consciousness will answer you if you are listening. Being open is so important, people. Just having your mind open. That's a lot of the work, I have to tell you. I used to be very closed, but now wide open. Reality shifting and parallel realities and all that's great because it does help you to understand how things work. But the essence is simply decide what you want, realize you can have it, and claim it as yours. Claim it, claim it, claim it. So you may have more than one thing that you want. You might want the car, the house, the husband, the kids, or whatever. You can write it all out. And I probably said this 100 times, but it's very important to write out how you want your life to be. Write it out in as much detail. Write it out like a day in the life. Today we got up, we went to the beach, blah, blah, blah. We went to dinner, we had lobster, whatever. Write it all out. And at the end of it, what's the bottom line? At the bottom, that will be the assumption that you use. You can do it every day if you want. Wake up every morning, write out the day that you had in the day that you want it to be, or same thing but different, or the day that you're having in your unseen reality, which is just as real as this reality. Actually, it's more real. It's your workshop. Your imagination is your workshop. So you can get up, you can write it out, how it happened, and as you're writing it, it's happening, right? Everything is now. So as you're writing out your day, oh, I had an amazing day. We were out on the boat, and blah, 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 whatever you do, you write it out, and it's already happened. And you can read that every morning, right? And you can also make a new one every morning. Okay, so that was a week. We did that every day. That was awesome. What are we going to do this week? Write that out every day, every other day, once a week, whatever. But all the time, you're saying your assumptions at the bottom there. Choose that assumption and focus on it as much as possible. And you go from having it happen in the unseen world to having it happen in the see it, touch it, feel it world, 3D world. Because it's already happening. It's happened in one world, then it's going to happen in the other world. And you're going to keep modifying it because that's fun and it's life. Why not? And this is why we're here, to have an adventure. All this drama we think we're going through, that's not why we're here. That's just like a fog we're going through. And even then, if you don't acknowledge it, keep on focusing on what you want to be, guys. I tell you, that's the best. It's fun. It's so, so, so fun. Because adventure should be fun. I'm just saying. You don't want to go to the amusement park and hang out by the water fountain. You want to get on the rides. We came here to get on the rides. Okay. So, anyway, the I am is where you reset yourself. If you find you're irritated or you're not feeling good, you can kind of relax yourself and reground yourself by saying, I am, I am, I am. It's like a affirmation. I am. And just keep on saying it until you calm down or you relax or you forget to say it. I mean, it's like there's not a time limit. You could say it 10 times, 5 times, 20 times, 100 times. But you'll find yourself kind of just kind of resetting and moving on to something else. And so the last thing I want to talk about is these affirmations. Like once you get used to them, obviously you'll be bringing in different ones. And it's kind of interesting when you find yourself, as much as possible, you do your affirmations to keep your mind clear. And whatever topic you have, your affirmations will match. And it's good to just go from one to the other, or you can sit 5 minutes and do one, wait a while, come back and do another. It's okay. It's all good. So, hope you enjoyed my tips. And if they made sense to you, post in the box. And if you have questions, let me know. Thanks.